This is Justin Amazon with a look at Amazon. So on Friday we had a rally into the close and then just went completely sideways aftermarket and then pre-market this morning. Oh, I'm sorry. It's March 5th, 2018, Monday. And we're just recapping how the moves went through. That was interesting. Let's go back to that chart. There we go. All right. So the pre-market looked like it was going to hold this 1500 price. Nice high wave doji. Now, obviously, pre-market, there's no volume. There's 1,302 shares. So just looking at the candles, what they were doing. But what I thought was interesting is it looked like it was going to hold this price. The last time we bounced was way down here. The low was 1482.64. And that's going to come into play pretty quickly here because after a few more 5-minute bars, it looks like we get a little more volume, maybe not, a tiny bit more volume. But we crossed below that 1500 price. And what looked so promising to just continue rallying higher actually started to look like it might just kind of drop as the market opened. And that's what happened. So the very first candle was a high wave doji, came all the way down to 1490 and went up to 1486.50. So letting that form, actually I was driving, so I wasn't even watching this. I tried to watch a little bit, but it's not good to do when you're driving. But we had I think it's Dragonfly Doji, a very long wick below, and it got bought right back up. This came down to 1484, pretty close to the price we had seen as the low yesterday or on Friday. Another bearish candle, another bearish candle, and then this one, which open and close almost the same price. Let's see. Yeah, 1 penny off. So when I see those candles, I like to get in on the very next candle or that one because it's such a conviction candle that the open and close, there was a battle going on in the candle. The volume was good. And I saw it pretty soon after that. I think I saw within a couple of these candles and thought, oh man, that's a great place to buy. But I was not in a situation to buy today. Or to trade at all today. I was, my schedule did not allow it. So anyway, I was looking at this, I think I saw here. I'm like, wow, look at that. If I didn't buy on that candle, this was where I would have bought because I'm bullish on Amazon, especially after that rally on Friday and how that moved. I was looking for a place to get in bullish. This looked like it was breaking down for the 5-minute. You could have gotten in below that and maybe squeaked out an R or so into that low. Maybe a little more, with how volatile things have been. Maybe you would have made a little bit more than an R. But you would have had to get out way down here and, maybe an hour and a half. I don't know. Anyway, when I saw this, though, I think I saw this candle, and I thought, wow, if I had not gotten in here, I could have had a trigger above and a stop below, and this would have been a retest of that level, would have absolutely been in on this candle with a stop way down here, and I would have been doing that with options. And then this was incredible too. Just not quite inside, slightly lower high, slightly lower low, but now a bullish candle. And, you could have even done a trigger above here and a stop below here, or maybe a stop below these bullish candles, thinking that if it broke that, it would have been bearish. And then we just start to rally and start to have move higher. Let's see, the low here was 1488.03. And the open was 1488.03. So this is a shaved bottom candle, very bullish candle. You have a slight increase in volume from the previous candle. But what you've done is you've closed, actually. So the closing price is above this bearish candle, which I'm calling a retest of that high wave doji and having the open and close identical. And they didn't quite close above this candle. And that's okay. Actually, did you? What was the high there? 1493.06, and the close here was 1493.19. Oh, it did close above. My bad. The candle did close above that wick, which is even more bear or more bullish. So like I said, be bullish, and then we move higher and come right into the 1500, really close to the 1500 price. And given the track record of 1500, this could have been a place to either lock in some gains or move up a stop, especially if your stop was down here, move it up to here, maybe chase a couple candles. And I don't even remember what happened here. Oh, okay. It just kept going. I think I did see these candles and thought that is a great flag right here. If I'm not in, and again, not being able to trade today, kind of a bummer, because this would have been just some fun move that everything would have worked. Nice little flag above your old resistance. Maybe it's new support. A nice flag could actually get in above that with probably a stop down below this very bullish candle. But after this candle, you're cleared through there. You could even have a stop here, which I think was another shaved bottom. Open and low are the same. Yep, another shaved bottom candle, and just a nice place to have a continuation. And that's what happened. It just continued to rally and kept moving up. Paused, kept moving up. And what was incredible here is we just came right into that 15-14 price, continued moving up, and just hung out there right into it. And a number of times just came back. This one, came back and touched it. This one came back and just floated right here at 15-14. And now the 15-14 price is in play. So not only do we have a move from this incredible candle up into 1500 and push through to 14 to, I keep saying the wrong number, sorry, 15-14. But we pushed through that, came back to it, pushed through it again, came back to it, and again, just kind of hovered on it. And I don't even have, I didn't even realize I turned off. Oops. Sorry. Not what I meant to do during a video. Don't worry. We'll further ahead. There we go. Another time, so here, maybe you bought off of 15-14 and took it up to the high at 15-20, and you took off a little bit of gains right here, and then it came back down, and you did it again. Maybe you came up to here and you still had your stop down here, because that would have been only even if you got in, say, this candle 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Why would you get in that candle? Wait a little bit. Okay, that one actually touched it. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes. You didn't have much reason to move your stop. You could have moved it here, locked in a little bit when it came down, but that would have been what, 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes? Move your stop. Late early afternoon, plenty of time still. But anyway, even if you had bought with a stop anywhere here or even below this low, you would have still been in off of 15-14. And it rallied again, just rallied into the close. It just stayed up here. No selling pressure whatsoever. A couple bearish candles, but nothing. And then this just sideways. Really, with this consolidation at the end of the day, it's a strong possibility that Amazon could open with a new all-time high. I would not buy it. I would wait for it to pull back, wait for a bearish candle, something. But with this consolidation right here, this is almost an hour's worth of, no, it is an hour's worth of just sideways, just consolidation at this price level. The only selling we had was, recently 3 bearish candles in a row, 3 bearish candles in a row, 2 in a row, 2 in a row, 2 in a row, 2 in a row, and then the open that had a few more bearish candles in a row. That was it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bearish candles in a row. And if you can even count that as bearish, that's a penny off. So maybe for 20 minutes of selling that amounted to any sort of selling, maybe 25. All right, and that was it for the whole day. Everything else was bullish, trending bullish all day, trending bullish, holding supports at 1500, at 15-14. Didn't quite get back up to the 15-26 or no 15-28, whatever it is, the all-time high recently. So if we take a step back to look at the options, take a look at this price in here, a retest of that level. That would have been buying probably around one of these candles here. So maybe getting in at 750, like that in here. You know, you were looking for it to retest the high of this candle. So maybe you were closer to the low of this one. So, you know, maybe 725, maybe 750 still, and a stop below. I mean, you could have had $100 risk, a 1 hour risk, bought it 750 or 725, a stop at 625, and just held on for the ride, and that just continued moving up. You know, this would have been a great place up here. You know, you already made this high, came back down a little bit, then you're coming up into the same price right here. You get a doji at the same level here. Maybe you thought, okay, that's a good place to lock in. I'm making a doji at my previous high of the day. This would have made a newer high, or a higher high up in here. You know, so maybe you got out at 14. So 14, okay, we got in at 725, close enough, or 750, something like that. So it's 650. You know, that's with a dollar risk. That's 6.5 R. That's crazy good. Or if you held on a little longer, this thing, I think, just kept, yeah, it lost a little bit at the end, at the close, but no, it got up to, could have made almost 10 on that high, 16.57, almost 10, you know, let's call it 9 R on that. Here's another option. This is the 15.15. Sorry, that was the 15.25 call expiring this week. This is the 15.15 call expiring this week. Again, you would have been buying maybe in here on these candles. This is buying around $10 with a stop down at $9. And this just, I mean, this actually got in the money. The 15.25 did not. That's the difference I wanted to point out. So the 15.15, right above the 15.14 price, if that came into play, which we talked about that it did up in here, that's where you got into this high. So if you bought at 10, the stop at 9, you raced all the way up here to 9. Oh, actually, oops, the high there is 20. So it actually moved a full 10 R on that. Came back down slightly, rallied back up a little bit higher, 21, came back slightly, rallied even higher into the close, and you know the high there was 22.15. But anyway, I mean, even if you had seen, if you had gotten in on either of these candles, which are just a great place to buy a retest of that candle, gotta know these candles, they just have incredible moves. Even if you waited to buy on that candle for confirmation, whatever you call it, above this, you know, bearish or this bullish flag here, breaking out above that high, that bearish candle, you know, the high on this candle on that 5-minute is 10.30. So one option contract was bought at that price for $10.30 or 1,030, and that could have been flipped out anywhere along here. Just this rally all the way up. I mean, even if you took profits at 15.14, that price level would have been hit here. That would have been a high of 17.70. Let's say, you know, it was 17.30. That's 7R. You know, if you got in at 10.30 with a stop at 9.30, you know, it's, and that the stop at 9.30 would have been below these lows here. So, I mean, and that would have been on a breakout sort of candle too. So, you know, the option was moving in your favor. So some incredible places to catch some moves. And I really wish I was not scheduled up all day with other things, because it would have been an incredible day to trade and been phenomenally profitable, even catching any of these moves. I mean, this little flag in here, if you had caught this, I mean, the options were still just moving. Everything just moved and worked, you know, in the bear and the bullish direction today. The low here is 14.30 on the option, high of 15. You know, you saw this in here. You get in, you know, either on these candles or get in when it breaks above on the next candle. That you could have bought at 15 and a stop down at 14 below the lows here, or even a stop back down here. This would have been down, a stop around 13. I mean, that's a 15 by 13, so you know, it's a $2 risk or $200 risk, and even that made it above made it up to 20. So that would have been 2R right there, just off of those two candles. Broke above, I mean, even this candle, 5 minute, you broke above that. Continue higher. So many great places to get in. Even, the later part of the day, this just sideways movement in here, whenever you came back down to 1514 and touch. So this last time, or even this time, let's say you weren't patient, you jumped in and you got a bad fill and you filled at 19, but because, you had a price back here at 1690, you knew what you were getting into. So a stop at 1650 and you got in at 19. So would have been a really bad fill, but anyway, that's 19 minus 1650, that's 250. So your risk is 250, but you never got down to that 1650 price. You got close here. You may have been a little worried. That's if you're watching it and you're not trusting your analysis. I've been there too. That came down to 1695, so that came close, and then it rallied up out of there and closed, or the high there was 2215. You got it at 19. That's a little bit. That's not even an R. You probably would have held thinking, it's just going to push a little higher. It's going to keep going, what it did all day. And I think we're at the last little bit. Oh no, just a couple more candles. Let's see. So you got in at 19, and the close, if you got out, jumped out right at the close, which I've been moving, changing my order, changing it to a lower limit price, and then just wanted to get out because I'm scrambling, changed to just a market, got a bad fill. Even if you got a bad fill on this, the low on this was 2064. If you got it at 19, that would have still been 150 bucks, 160 bucks. Well, after commissions, probably 150. Anyway, everything worked. That's what I'm trying to say. That would have been, you would have been in for, a little bit of time, made a little bit of money, but you missed the big move, but you still could have made some money on the day. Still would have been profitable. And that's what we want to do on Amazon, because we're just an Amazon here. So hope you enjoyed the look at a couple options. It's definitely favorable early in the week to play those in the money options. You saw this one move in the money. I'm sorry, the option that went in the money showed a move much greater than the option that was out of the money. And this is just inside of the all-time high at Amazon. So yeah, it was 1528.70. So, this is still a viable option to use. I may use it later this week. We'll see. But this one, 1515, right at our 1514 price. We've got some good reason to use that. So just know the option you're getting into. Know how far away it is away from the strike. Away from the actual price. How far the strike is away from the actual price. And just know your candles to know, okay, we had, looking back a little bit wider here, we had some moves come down, come back up, down a little further, come back up. This could have been, a right shoulder, or even this could have been a right shoulder with an inverted head and shoulders, and the 1500 being that price. And so if we take a zoom out, I like to do this, zoom out on the hourly. We had some head and shoulders here. It looks like we had a head and shoulder here. Yeah, I would say this would be the right shoulder with a neckline about 1514 or 1500. And it has the potential to just keep moving up. We had the squeeze, fired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're 7 days into that. We haven't made an all-time high. I would guess we'd make an all-time high and maybe pause here a little bit, or we still have the potential to rally. I don't have that study turned on. I must have messed up my chart. I meant to have that study on, looking at the 5 minute, because it just helps kind of clarify, what's moving when. So let me see if we can get that back on for the next one. But all I would have shown is probably some consolidation in here. Would have had a bearish, like these blue bars, or the negative ones, which I'm not showing any of them. I think it's the red or the yellow, those that are gaining momentum on the bearish side. Probably would have had some of that, maybe something triggering through here. But then again, just Amazon has these triangles. And I'm seeing this, if you draw a line from this low up through here, and from this high down through here, and it just consolidates on that candle, and then that's the breakout. I mean, even if you're looking at a triangle, breaking out bullish, maybe if you thought that was the breakout bearish, that wasn't even a full triangle. That was just a couple candles in a row, pulls back up, pushes back up into a consolidation here, this triangle. Even if you thought it was going to go bearish, it never gave you an indication except that candle, if you waited, this is not a good place to get in bearish. You got some large candles right into that 1482 price that we saw. The last pivot, it goes in here, right? Oh, that's not going to show it. If we come back over here. So this, we saw 1478. There we go. The 1482 price. We came right back into this. Came right back into this level. We had some support in here, some chop, and some things where I got turned around and went the wrong direction in here. Came right back into that price. And from, remember my lesson on Friday, that same price, I'd have been looking to go bullish because it just did. Just rallied. Pulled back right back into this range. Incredible. That we saw it here on Friday, came right back into that range and just rallied up out of it. Now, if it had broken down like I was looking for it to do Friday, or if it pushed down a little bit more like it did through here from that price, still, probably stopped out on 1 hour loss, move on to another trade, or wait till the next day. Either one. But we rallied out of that same price and rallied hard. So be interesting to see what happens the next couple of days. There's a lot of bullishness in the market in general. But right here, we're just in AMZN. I hope you enjoyed the look at the 5 minute and some options.